I think it was like 50% of the population cannot afford a $500 emergency.
No, that's a bullshit metric. You don't know what you're talking about.
Not a bullshit metric.
No, it is a bullshit metric. No, I know the specific claim. I am fucking serious.
Like a motherfucker, dude.
I'm not sure. I know you. The fact is, I know what specific point of data you're talking about, and you don't even know what specific point of data you're talking about. The median American household has $8,000 in transaction accounts. 54% of Americans have 3 months of income saved. Don't you think median household income is probably bigger in the U.S. than it is in China?
It is, but I think it's a bullshit measurement.
You don't understand how medians work.
Because, like, it's a measurement.
Wait. Explain to me how.
Income inequality.
Wait, because of income inequality?
It's because. Yes.
Okay, do you know how medians work? Biden is the main reason why Netanyahu delayed the ground invasion in Gaza. I think Biden is the main reason that Israel didn't do a greater retaliatory strike in Iran. I think Biden is the main reason Israel hasn't invaded Rafah yet. I think Biden is the main reason that Netanyahu finally decided to open more ports for humanitarian aid. And I don't think Trump would have been airdropping food into Gaza. I think if you actually care about the Palestinian people, you will probably vote for Joe Biden.
Here we go, chat.
Yeah.
Hold on, brother. I hear you.
Why are you using why do you use an alt account when you come to my chat? I didn't know who you were.
Everybody uses alt account, man. What the fuck?
Everybody uses an alt account. I don't do that.
Wait, you know who I am?
I do, yeah.
Thanks, brother. I keep going around streams, and then they say, "Oh, you're PPG," like I'm famous or some shit. It actually gives me an ego boost. It gives me a fucking ego boost, man. Considering.
This is great.
Okay, so let me come down to business. So there's this girl, Nikki, right?
Yep,
and
I know.
She's Siberian. Yeah, she's like fucking Russian or Siberian, some shit like that, right? And she comes into my stream, right? And she gave me she's great. I'm fucking around with her, but she told me to debate you on some shit, and I was like, all right. And now here we are, dude.
Okay. Well, I mean, what do you want to talk about?
Well, is there anything? Have you ever heard my stream? Is there anything that you disagree with me? Like,
I'm gonna be so real, dude. All I've ever really seen you do is react to TYT.
I mean, whatever. I mean, that could be an issue, right? What do you think about TYT? You think it's a bad organization? Blah blah blah.
No, I don't necessarily think it's a bad organization. I'm just saying that's all I've seen you do. So like, I don't know that much about you.
What do you think about? What do you think about capitalism, dude? Are you a capitalist?
Basically, yeah. I mean, I'm pretty like liberal, so I think the government should intervene anytime there's market failures. I think things like universal healthcare are good. I think we need some type of strong social safety net. But I don't think we should. I don't think we should necessarily mandate social ownership. No.
So do you do realize that there is a flaw in that type of belief, right? That when you let people accumulate a lot of wealth in our society, because through economic means, that means power, right? And they are, I mean, sure, if you put it on paper that I don't want this to happen and this to happen, that's a good thing, right? Like social democracy, I would agree with it, but in real life, we have seen it. Like when you let a lot of people accumulate enough capital, they tend to do shit like buy off the government, intervene in use their capital to intervene in ways into the society to pull shit in their favor, right?
I mean, kind of, but I understand the point you're making, but it seems like I'm in favor of relatively high tax brackets under like wealthy people. It seems like countries like Norway and Sweden have been able to avoid that pretty decently well. And I think that allowing people to accumulate large amounts of wealth also does incentivizes investment, incentivizes growth, and incentivizes people to be productive, basically. Yeah.
Do you think that you think that 100% the what do you call it? I don't want to say greed, but I would say the self-interest, the human self-interest, fucking whatever it is a good incentivizer to do shit in our society, right? That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the sole motivator. Like, even if there were no, I would agree. Like, even if there were no profit incentive, there would be some people still willing to do work, right? But it seems like the profit incentive offers humans a pretty good reason
Well,
to do shit.
let's go with what you said. So you don't think it's kind of like slaverish? I don't want to say slavery, right? But you don't think it's kind of slaverish to have like a currency system that if you do not work, incentivized to work, right, and gain money, for whatever it is. In our society right now, it's horrific. So people work for a living, like literally, they just work to survive, right? But even in the other the way you're describing the good form of capitalism, right? Keynesianism is what it is.
Yeah.
You still have to work to get a good standard of living, right? Don't you think it's a little bit slaverish?
I wouldn't necessarily say it's slavery-ish. I mean, there's obviously some like negative aspect to it, right? But I would be in favor of something like a UBI, which gives everyone a guaranteed minimum income. So even if you don't have a job, you can live, even if it's not a super high standard of living. But I do think there needs to be an incentive to work. I don't think it's necessarily slavish. I think it's more or less free association.
So okay, so I'm gonna give you the what communists say, right? I am a communist, but I have one foot in the outside, one foot in the inside, dude. So I'm gonna give you what a communist would say. A communist would say, I think that you because capitalism strives for the greed incentive or the self-interest incentive of a human is why people think this way. I think that if we create a society that would strive for the human, because we have many incentives when it comes to the human, right? So sympathy, you even under horrific circumstances of capitalism, you see some like you giving a $5 to a fucking bum, right? That is a form of sympathy, right? You actually hurt yourself in our society when you give the $5 to the bum. If you think about it, right? You're actually hurting your own self-interest, but we do it anyway because
sure, whatever. I'll agree with
it. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, you have to agree with it because I
mean, I can obviously like there's certain things like poor people, for example, commit more crime. So if I'm rich, it does benefit me. It does benefit me that not the whole of society is poor, because if I'm rich and the whole of society is poor, then they're just going to steal my fucking wealth. So there is some incentive. There is some benefit to me. But
you're coming at that from the Keynesian point of view. And this, I like, brother, under American circumstances, I am basically a Keynesian. I believe in social democracy because I think this is the thing we're going to get to, right? I don't think we're going to have a full-blown communist revolution and change the world, right? But so I am basically I call myself a social democrat, dude, under American circumstances. But I give you the scenario of you giving the homeless person under our society right now. You don't do it because you're incentivizing that homeless person to not, like, you're not doing it from a Keynesian point of view, which is I'm going to give this poor person money so that he doesn't disrupt the system that I benefit from. You're doing it out of sympathy. You see a homeless person, it's fucked up, it hits you, right? I don't know if it hits me. Like when I see a homeless person and they're begging for money, it hits me as a person, as a human. It hits something deep inside of me. I said, "This is really fucked up, dude. Here you go, right? I can't $5 to spare. Here you go." So that's different than from the Keynesian point of view, which is we need to keep these people happy so they do not revolt against us, right?
Well, I mean, there's some morality to it. Like I think even if it is. Even if we reduced some amount of economic efficiency, I think obviously people still deserve some more minimum standard of living, just from a strictly moral perspective. So we should give poor people money, even from just like a sympathy perspective, I would say still. But I understand what you're saying, and if I just don't think there's a there's a good enough system where that's the sole motivator for economic production.
So this is the problem with markets, right? And I don't want to say capitalism because capitalism is just another form of the market system. The problem with markets is that it incentivizes our greed, right? You want to produce more in whatever way, sometimes horrific way, sometimes more way, doesn't matter. You want to produce more because it's going to benefit you. You're going to be able to accumulate however markets work at the time, right? Right now we have money, we have currency, state, blah, 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 blah. It incentivizes your greed as a human, right? You don't think that we could create a system that would incentivize your sympathy and we could have the same outcome? Why? This is my problem with a lot of capitalists. Is like they think no. The greed incentive of a human is the way to go. Well, how do you know that, man? We've never seen if we advocate for sympathy, like a system that advocates for sympathy. How do you know our consciousness won't change?
I mean, well, what would that look like? You'd have to describe what that looked like, and then you have to like point to examples of it working.
This is why we have to head in that fucking direction, man, because that's right. We have never really had to do it. Right.
It seems like even under capitalism, like we can offer certain incentives to be charitable. Like people get tax deductions for charitable donations.
In America, fucking charities are basically tax fucking what is it, like tax scams and shit. Like 80% of them are like fucking people just laundering their money back and then making way more money. But sure, I understand what you're saying. Wait. Okay, wait, hold on. Are you a Keynesian? Do you argue for charity or do you argue for systemic change of wealth redistribution?
I'd argue mostly for systemic change, but I'm just saying, like, even under capitalism, we can create incentives to be charitable. That's all my point was. Like, we can create systems that appeal to more than just greed, even within capitalism.
I mean, that's true, but it won't be the dominant incentive under. I don't want to, again, I hate using the word because this could be slave markets, this could be slavery, feudalism, blah, 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 right? It's just the market system itself, dude. Do you like, as long as we have it, it incentivizes greed, brother. See what I mean?
I don't think there's a good alternative to the market system. I think markets are pretty good. I think markets are pretty good at coordinating, supply and demand, basically. I think they're pretty good at promoting economic efficiency.
I think, well, I won't disagree with you, but for the reason that we just never seen an alternative system. We've seen it, but they've been annihilated by the nation states that rely on the market system, right? We've seen this, and we could get into the argument of which was better or the other, but I don't want to get into that. The countries that rely on the market system much more than the others tend to destroy the other ones. Right?
But I mean, we've certainly that threatens. We've seen examples of central planning before. Like, you can say there were certain societies that were, destroyed by the capitalist societies, but even then, like, we've seen examples of central planning even within capitalist societies. Some markets, for example, can be like nationalized and centrally planned, and they tend to be outcompeted by private firms. You disagree with that?
Yep.
What do you mean? What part do you disagree with?
Okay. Well, where do we start, dude?
All I'm saying right now is
there's many circumstances. I mean, there is countries that have done. By the way, America has done central planning, right? You do agree with that?
Yeah, sure.
Like literally the best. I talk about this shit on my fucking stream like every day, dude. Literally, like people, my fucking viewers, their ears are bleeding because I talk about this. Under America, under the New Deal, we had central planning, dude.
Some level of it, yeah.
No, we won the war with central planning.
I mean, our entire economy wasn't centrally planned, but yeah, there was obviously some level of central planning.
Most of it, dude, the majority of it.
Do you think the majority of it during what time period specifically?
Like the war, World War II. It was the auto industry, which was the largest fucking work production at the time, dude.
Yeah. Because we nationalized a lot of factories to make planes and shit.
To make planes, yeah, central planning.
You understand, some of it was central planning, but some of it was also, like, we offered contracts to companies too, you know that, right? Like, that's where the defense contractors came from. You can say that there was private-public partnership, but it like China does this now, dude. But it was, these companies were working for, it was
it was very little difference between central planning and what you're talking about. I understand what you're talking about.
Well,
I understand what you're talking about, dude.
No, there is a
right?
pretty big difference. Like, do you consider when the government contracts something that's central planning? Like, there are defense contractors
they'll give them contracts and they'll try to come up with better try to outcompete other companies, etc. But ultimately, it's going to lead to the same shit. Like, right? The state is the one who dictates where this innovation is going to go. If you understand what I'm saying. It is central planning, dude. It's just a different way. China does this now. China actually does this now. No, wait. China actually does this now. It's not central planning, but it is central planning, right? They have markets. They have their capitalist, whatever. They have their businesses that supposedly are independent, but no, they're not, dude. They're really not. The Chinese government has a short leash on their fucking.
A lot of what China does central planning, but I don't think I would consider government contracting central planning.
Okay, you might be having the definition of government contracts of what's happening after the New Deal, but in the New Deal, it was either you made this for us or you're not gonna get these contracts, dude. It was. I'm sorry. America won the war with central planning, dude.
That's how government contracting works. Companies compete for government contracts. That's how. I don't consider that central planning. I wouldn't consider it. That's just a government spending money.
Don't consider that central planning, dude.
Not nearly to the extent of like what China does as central planning.
Okay, I gotta take a piss.
Okay.
Talk to the chat, dude. How many people do I got here? 22. That's a lot.
22. Ahead, all right. Hey everyone. It's me. You can check me out on Twitch if you wanna. I'm Nonfon 420. I'm kind of new to Twitch politics. I'd appreciate anyone coming. Anyone come dropping a follow. I stream every day starting at 7 p.m. until usually about 2 a.m. Today I'm going a little later because this guy wanted to talk. Yeah. Full disclosure, 90% of what I do, instead of reacting to our TYT, is doing like research and shit. Yeah, we've been reading a lot of stuff. Recently, a lot of the stuff we've been reading is about Israel-Palestine. We're starting to shift a little bit more towards economic stuff. So like I just did quite a bit of research on tax policy. One of the things that I'm planning on reading soon, actually, is we're going to specifically go into central planning. Oh, thanks, Girly Bear, for following. We're actually going to go into like central planning and government failures and yeah, that shit. Oh, thanks, Kush. Yeah. Everyone in this chat. These names I'm saying, people who just hopped in and followed me, okay? So if you want me to say your name, and you get to see a twerking guy too, that's pretty cool. My follow alert is literally black guy shaking his booty cheeks, okay? That's pretty, I think that's pretty cool.
That's kind of gay, dude. Honestly.
Didn't you tell me you were gay?
I'm not gay, dude. Sure, I like going into streams and saying, I'm gay, bro. I'm gay. Sure. People think I'm gay, dude. Can you believe that? People think I'm gay as fuck, dude.
People think I'm gay because I've never touched a woman before.
You have never touched a woman, but you're not gay, so you're a virgin.
Well, no, they think it because I've sucked dick too. But I don't understand. Ooh. I don't see it.
Oh no, so you're actually gay. That's fine. That's okay. I have never touched a dick. I had one 3-way and I saw a dick and that's where I was like, oh no, I'm anti-gay.
You're anti-gay?
Well, I'm not anti-gay. No, I'm not anti-gay as in I hate gay people. Me personally as an individual is like I am 100% straight. It was one of the worst experiences of my life, dude. I swear, dude. I swear to you on my life. I didn't enjoy it at all. Well, let me tell you what happened, right? Real quick. Me and this dude, if you ever been in a 3-way with a woman, your privates are going to your privates are going to grace each other.
Sure.
And I had nightmares, dude. Like I literally had nightmares. I had nightmares, brother. I was like, oh my god, like I had night sweats and nightmares. And I was like, no, this is why I cannot be gay. And here I am, dude. Like 10 years later.
All right, I don't want to like queer bait or whatever the fuck. I'm not actually gay. I am actually straight. I was just messing around. But
Good. Yeah. Good. Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God, dude. Thank God. All right, wait. Okay, so you don't think that anything good comes from central planning? Anything good?
I think the only good that can happen is from market failures. So, like things like natural monopolies, it's probably fine to nationalize, right? Because they're just more inefficient to be run centrally planned. And there are certain other like market failures that we could get into, but.
Well, you do know that like some of the countries that you're saying that are social democratic, like Norway, have nationalized industries, right? Like Norway, especially with their oil.
No, that was my point earlier. Is that we can actually, like, even in capitalist societies, there are some industries that are centrally planned. And if you actually look at, there have been studies done about this before. I haven't gotten super far into them yet. I just finished doing a lot of tax policy stuff, so eventually I'll get to the state-owned industry stuff. But it seems like we can look at these industries that are nationalized in capitalist countries and compare them to the same industry that's not nationalized in another capitalist country. And it seems like private industries tend to outcompete state-owned industries. That seems to be the general trend.
Yeah, because they're the majority, brother. That's kind of like saying America, they're more, it's, fuck, how do I describe this shit, dude? They have more capability in the global market, dude. Like that's what exists. That's the fucking problem, is the global fucking market, dude. On paper, they out succeed the nationalized industries. If we had, if by a global system nationalized all oil for all countries, right? No markets, no oil markets, dude. Everybody has to provide their oil to their own people, and you wouldn't have this outcome. It's the global market that shows you that these private industries are out competing a nationalized nationalized oil market or whatever.
That's what out competing means. It means to do better in a market, to provide a better service for a cheaper price. That's what out competing means.
That's the fucking problem, dude.
But what else would outcompeting mean other than providing a better product for a cheaper price? You would just
end the fucking market. All societies would have to provide cheap oil to hold on, let me tell you. Especially under social democracy, because all societies would have to provide cheap oil to their citizens, because oil is essential to keep the economy going, right? You don't want all the other businesses to fall apart. It would have to be cheap for people to get around, right?
Sure, but you understand how right now the market system lets oil companies compete for the cheapest and highest quality oil.
Well, sure, but that's the fucking problem. That's the problem.
Like what mechanism would we have for evaluating how much should oil be under this system? Like, I don't understand. Like, how do you determine prices, basically?
State under ours right now, we live under nation states. So states would determine prices, right? Yeah.
You think
that would actually be better. It would. Well,
that would not be better.
Well, let me give you an example. Well, no, it would be better. Let me give you an example, right? Again, this is an essential energy, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, that must be provided to keep the economy running. Do you think they're going to price gouge you through state ownership of the fucking of oil instead of sending it to a global market where they have to compete against each other? This is brother. This is why fucking capitalists themselves strive for becoming monopolies, because they understand competition is bad, dude.
Well, it's bad for them. It's bad for them on an individual level, but competition is obviously good for other people. It's obviously good for consumers. Obviously good for society as a whole. A state might not necessarily intentionally price gouge you, but the fact is, if they have to keep track of a ton of prices, they don't have the knowledge to determine the prices of every good and service. Like, why would you not just let the? Why would you?
When it comes to a certain state, brother, it's kind of like,
because you're saying the states should set prices for everything. Is that not what you're saying?
No. We're going with oil, dude. I believe in social democracy, brother. I do. I think that it's the gateway drug to getting to communism. So oil will be one of the very first markets that I would eliminate, right? Oil will be, I don't have to say oil, it's just energy to keep the economy functioning. That's an easy one, believe it or not, dude, because the
reason energy is easy,
the global market.
The reason energy is easy is a lot of energy is a natural monopoly. So it is more or less more efficient to nationalize some things. That's why That's why I don't. Do you live in America? You live in America, right? I don't know how it works near you,
Los
but
Angeles.
yeah, in my state, North Carolina, there's a company called Duke Energy. Duke Energy is granted like a monopoly status by the state government because it's a natural monopoly, and it is arguably more efficient for natural monopolies to have no competition and to be centrally planned in some way. But that's energy specifically. What you're saying, you literally told me social democracy is the gateway to communism. When you say communism, what I hear is that you want the state to set all prices. And I don't think there's a good way for a state to do that.
No. You use the state to head towards social democracy. This is like Lenin said this shit, right? The state will wither itself away once we start moving in that direction, dude. That's what I mean. I'm not calling for state ownership. I think the state itself is very hierarchical, etc. Right? All the things we need. I would love a more democratic form of our society, but right now the only thing available to us is the state. So the reason I believe in social democracy is because it is a gateway towards socialism. So China's doing it right now. Let's be real. So here, China's trying to dethrone the United States, right? When it comes to the economic global superpower. They're both at each other's throats. Let's be real. If you don't think that, you're an idiot, right? Do you agree with me on that at least?
I mean, right? More or less, sure.
Yeah, well, economically, I'm not talking about war. America's starting to feel the pressure.
I think China realizes that it's not going to overthrow the U.S. economically for a while yet.
Why is that?
Because we have high technology that China doesn't have. China has a lot of people, and China seems to be good at making shit for cheap. But by the way, the reason they do that is because China subsidizes its exports, but that has a cost for them in in consumption. So when China subsidizes their exports, they're essentially reducing the amount of internal consumption in the country. Yeah.
I mean, they are, but China is not a democracy, right? I mean, they could take that loss while trying to fuck up the United States, right?
I'm saying like part of the reason is that
a democracy, but go ahead.
Part of the reason we're so economically strong is because we have a strong like domestic economy. Like we're not just export based. Like the U.S. imports more than exports. China is a very heavily export-based country. There's not much like internal consumption.
Brother, America is strong because of its...
We have the high technologies.
America is strong because of its military, dude. And its political influence around the world. Like the petrodollar, our form of like, come on. You think we're strong because of our consumer...
That's part of the reason why we're economically strong. I would agree with you. The U.S. has positioned itself very well in the world. We're the world reserve currency.
Wait, no, I can't let you get away with this. America's economy is like runs on like fictitious capital, brother. What the
fictitious capital? What do you mean? Why are all the tech companies stationed here? Why is Nvidia happening here? Why is Intel happening here?
That's okay.
Why is OpenAI happening here? I'm talking about the high technology. We have all the high technology.
Anecdotal. I could say that honestly. I could say the same shit about fucking China, dude. A lot of companies go to China because the infrastructure to create those jobs that you're talking about, like you're talking about the U.S., only exists in China. For now,
for manufacturing
exists in the U.S. No, man, China is the number one manufacturer in the world, brother.
Yeah, exactly. They go there to create jobs from manufacturing to make their shit, but their companies are stationed here. All the actual high technology happens here. Again, I just told you, China's economy is export based. Like it's a manufacturing hub. It's a big factory.
Okay.
Which doesn't necessarily mean it's not economically strong. China is economically strong, obviously.
It is. Of course. So,
yeah.
Okay, fuck. You just confused the shit out of me. Oh, okay. So they're at each other's throat, right? Economically. They're clearly at war with each other, dude.
Sure. Well, I mean, I don't, but China knows that it's an export base. Like it's not.
What do you mean by that? What does that mean, dude? Like, what does that mean?
China knows that it's not going to outcompete the U.S. in most of the important shit for quite a while.
Okay, so then you don't take into effect Belt and Road Initiative?
The Belt and Road? I mean, I guess that could be an example of China trying to that is an example of China trying to outcompete the U.S. when it comes to like international trade. Sure.
Okay, good. So they're at each other's throat. Good. Okay. So China has manufacturing. They're the global manufacturer of the world. A lot of the world relies on them. The America is literally building bases all around China, right? In the Philippines, if you go, please go look at Marcos, the guy who just won in the Philippines, a complete American puppet. They're trying to pull away India with Modi away from influence or agreement from BRICS into America. They're getting more militaristic in Taiwan, sending in the F-35s, which is a huge. China sees it as a huge altercation. America is definitely feeling the pressure. Do we agree on that at least too?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, fuck. I honestly lost my chain of thought, dude. I don't even know where the fuck I'm going with this. They would not be feeling the pressure if the Chinese form of government was not succeeding better than what I would determine America's form of government, but be horrifically neoliberal, right?
I don't. But again, it's succeeding because it's subsidizing its exports.
Okay, who cares, dude? That's your opinion. That's fine, but who cares?
They are doing that. I don't know what to tell you.
So they're better at capitalism, right?
No, they're not better at capitalism. They're subsidizing their exports, which has its own cost.
It has its own cost to its own consumers, which they can tank. You're a gamer? Are you a gamer?
I am a gamer. I'm gaming right now.
Okay, they can tank. Okay, well, they can tank those losses, right? What you're talking about? They clearly are tanking those losses because it's putting America in a very militaristic position where they're starting to do, in my opinion, horrific shit, dude.
Horrific shit? What is that?
Yeah,
what you
like
think,
surrounding China. Why the fuck is China why is the fuck is America in the South China Sea, dude?
Because I think we're A, worried about China invading Taiwan, and B, worried about China establishing control over the South Asian Sea.
Right there alone. Why the fuck are we worried about China invading a country that we acknowledge that is part of China?
Well, the only reason we acknowledge that is because it would piss off China if we didn't, right? Like we don't actually think that.
Okay,
the only reason we do that is because
we don't actually think that, like in realsies. In realsies, or what do you mean?
Yeah, I mean we're clearly just doing it to appease China, but like obviously the U.S. has an interest. The U.S. has an interest in protecting Taiwan, right? Like that's where all the semiconductors are, and it's also broadly like a liberal democracy.
To anybody that doesn't know, the semiconductors were sent there. Go look it up. It was an American company that was sent there. It was in 1959. I forgot the fucking name. Tomorrow on chat. I don't want to clog up the fucking bullshit. It was basically, this is what America does, dude. That's the same shit with Israel. Israel's providing Israel with the chips, right?
The chips, something like that. Semiconductors.
Yes, with the chips. It's the same fucking playbook, dude. Same fucking playbook to get people like you, brother, to think that we need these states. America's doing it because they.
Right now, we don't. The semiconductor fabs only exist in Taiwan. That's the only place where that technology is. Biden started subsidizing chip fabs here with the Chips and Science Act. It's going to take a while to get those plants up and running, and even then, they're not as advanced as the fabs in Taiwan. Like the chip fabs that are in Taiwan only exist in Taiwan. That's my understanding. Biden did
that with the fucking chips. I don't understand why the fuck Biden did that. I saw that
because he's worried about Taiwan being invaded.
That's what I was gonna say. I actually saw that as is Biden gonna change global policy? I was like, because I don't think fucking Trump would have done this shit, dude, or any other right-wing fucking president. I think they would have been more, keep on sending way more arms and being aggressive towards China. That's the way it is, a side note. But you're right about that when it comes to the CHIPS Act.
Well, I mean, we're also sending arms to Taiwan still, but yeah.
Okay, regardless, dude. Regardless. So I don't even know what to say, man. You think that we rely on China, on Taiwan because of this, and this is why we should risk nuclear warfare?
Well, what do you mean? I think we should broadly try to defend Taiwan as much as possible. I think we should try to discourage China from invading Taiwan as much as possible. That's what I think.
But that's okay. I don't even make Skate. Can we bring somebody else here because he makes my point better than me? I'm trying to be nice, man.
I mean, is he another streamer or something? Sure. I mean, he can.
He is. He's another streamer. It's Skate. He's pretty famous. He's actually bigger than all of us, dude. Bigger than me, Nikki, you.
Yeah,
he's
sure.
He's a streamer. Skate, you want to come in?
We can bring it. What's his Twitch? I'm curious.
Go to my stream, give me, and just send your link, and he'll get in. He's on my stream. He's fucking looking. He's talking shit. He knows how to describe it. I'm trying to be. Oh, he's at work. Okay, he can't come in, dude.
Oh, okay. Wait, okay. What's his Twitch? I just want to check out his Twitch. He can
skate from. That's him. Skate from.
I don't know who this guy.
Okay. So America on paper recognizes Taiwan to be China, the one China. What is it?
One China policy.
The one China policy. But on the realsies, we're defending this place that creates chips for us. And I don't have the data right now, but I'm going to bring it up tomorrow because some dude explained it very well, how we send those industries to Taiwan to use that excuse just like we did to Israel. For economic means, we're defending these countries. I'll do it tomorrow. It's fine. We don't have to argue that argument.
Sure.
But right now, you think that it's instead of looking for diplomatic solutions, we're sending them F-35s, dude.
Well, we should obviously prioritize. We should obviously prioritize diplomatic solutions, but I think it's clear. Like, let me ask you this: do you think if Taiwan didn't have any means of defending itself, don't you think China would probably just annex Taiwan?
Not really.
You don't think so?
China has, when it comes to the global superpowers in history, China has actually been the most non-hands approach, has taken the most. If it was America, I would agree with you. China has actually taken the most non-hands approach way of any other imperialist. So you do agree Taiwan, that China's doing imperialism, right? Hold on, let's get that out of the way. You think that China's doing imperialism with like their Belt and Road Initiative?
Well, I'll answer that in a second, but let's just. Even if we say historically China hasn't been doing imperialism, whatever, that's fine. But like, if China really doesn't want to annex Taiwan at all, why do they get as mad every time another country calls Taiwan a country?
Political reasons, dude. Who gives a fuck? That's the same shit. That's the same shit with America going around still saying we believe in the one China policy. It's political reasons. Like they're not trying to.
If China doesn't want to annex Taiwan, why does China get mad if we call Taiwan a country?
I don't know, man. I honestly don't. I don't care.
Okay.
If you look at their military buildup, if you look at China's military buildup, it's not an offensive buildup. It's a defensive buildup, dude. Literally, they're not investing in one aircraft carrier. They're not investing in like infantry groups. They're investing in aircraft.
Didn't you see Didn't you see the reconstruction of the streets around Taiwan Palace that we caught China having? They literally military base that has a like perfect reconstruction of the roads around Taiwan Palace.
That has nothing to do with how their military buildup. They've been getting more militaristic, right? They're starting to pump in more money into their military. I think they were number 2, but now they're like a bigger number 2. But if you look at what they're spending on, it's defensive measures. It's anti-aircraft missiles. It's brother. This is another thing I cannot describe right now because I'm drunk as fuck. But they're building up their defensive measures and not offensive measures because it will be ludicrous to invade this little shitty country when China is clearly winning the economic war, dude, against the United States. They're literally in all over Latin America buying influence. Like you said, right? Like you said, Honduras came out, what was it, like a couple of months ago and said that Taiwan isn't a country anymore? That is massive influence. This is Honduras, dude. This is our neighbor.
I agree. Yeah. China is establishing a lot of deals with other countries.
The United States is getting desperate, dude, right? Trying to send in F-35s, which was supposedly a Chinese red line, dude. Of course, they're not gonna do anything. It's in the Philippines with Marcos. Please go look at everybody. Go look at Marcos, a complete American puppet. America's starting to feel the pressure.
I mean, we're definitely trying to maintain power against China, sure.
Okay, so if it wasn't for China's centralized government, or like you said, exports and blah blah blah, why the fuck would America be doing this, dude?
I think subsidizing exports isn't necessarily a bad thing. Look at I don't know if you've heard about this. The reason South Korea grew in the early days is partly because they subsidized exports and protected their own industries. Yeah, a lot of the Asian tigers went through what we call authoritarian modernization, where they were authoritarian states and they established themselves as like an export-based economy. And then as the economy developed, they started allowing more free market policies to take place. That's why South Korea is a free market today. That's why Japan's a free market today. Like countries like Samsung started as a state-owned industry in South Korea. Now South Korea is like a mostly free market economy. And it seems like even China has been adopting more and more free market policies. Like China.
Where do you think China was more quote unquote free market, under Deng or under Xi Jinping? Because it feels like they're starting to become more aggressive towards their capitalist class, like towards markets now, dude. Under Xi Jinping,
I mean, they might start becoming more anti-free regulations or whatever. But
but they're clearly. I mean, China is at its peak right now. There is no doubt about it. China right now is at its peak. Do you agree on that?
True, because its population is going to collapse and its housing market's going to collapse and it's going to have some stuff to deal with.
Oh, come on, man. God damn it.
True, China will never get bigger than this. That's true. Did you see even I think even China's GDP relative to US GDP fell last year or something. Fuck, I should remember the exact statistic.
It's a fucking bullshit measure, dude. How do you measure GDP? Can you tell the chat? You're very smart. Can you tell? How do you measure GDP here in America?
Okay, consumption plus investment and net exports. And what else? Well, there's one other factor, right? It's four things: consumption, investment, net exports. Fuck, is that it? Actually, do you know what it is? It's consumptions.
I don't.
No, that is what it is. Because net exports minus imports. Yeah, that's it, right?
That's how you measure GDP.
Yeah, consumption spending plus investment spending plus net exports.
Is there any other measure that makes America look good that you want to bring up?
I don't know. We definitely
household income.
I mean, we have one of the highest household incomes in the world. I would imagine our household income is a lot larger than China's. I would imagine our HDI is a lot better than China's.
Wait. You take somebody like Jeff Bezos, who's making whatever the fuck it is, and somebody making $15,000 minimum wage, and you put them together, and the average comes out to like, what was it, $80,000 a year?
Don't you think median household income is probably bigger in the U.S. than it is in China?
It is, but I think it's a bullshit measurement.
I don't understand how medians work.
Because if you have horrific wealth income inequality, it shows you that if you measure these two together, of course, medium. If you put them together, it looks good on paper. But then you really look at it, and, oh no, the majority of the fucking country lives in horrific standards. America is one of the first world countries.
Yeah, he doesn't understand median.
I think it's the only one, actually.
Wait, hold on. I said median, though. Don't you think the U.S. has a higher median household income than China probably does?
Okay, I'm I'm not even gonna lie to you, brother. I'm pretty sure it does. I think China's like 12,000 and America's 70,000. But it's a bullshit measure. Like it's a measure. It's a bullshit measurement.
Explain to me how.
Income inequality.
Wait, because of income inequality?
It's because yes.
Okay, do you know how medians work? Medians don't. What you're talking about is true of an average, but it's not true of a median. Medians don't have.
That's what I said. Average.
No, I said median though. I said median multiple times.
Oh, you were trying to put me in a box. Okay, well, average, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, but the median household income in the U.S. is still probably higher than China's, right? Probably significantly higher.
That's fine, dude. But
and especially of disposable income, the U.S. has the highest median disposable income in the world. Last time I checked.
Great. America has third world poverty, guys.
Don't you think that's an important metric?
No, well, let me cherry pick just like you. America has third world poverty, guys.
America has what?
America has third world poverty, guys.
Okay, that's a
let
policy
me cherry
failure.
Pick just like you. What?
That's not a policy. Wait, that's not a. You don't understand though. What I'm looking at is like how median disposable income is a good metric for how well society is doing as a whole. Just the fact that the U.S. has third world. Absolutely is. Just the fact that the U.S. has third world poverty at all, it's not a good metric for how the U.S. is doing as a whole, because it doesn't take into account how many people are actually in that third world poverty. In the U.S., it's way too high. I agree with you. There's no reason that we should have this type of third world policy in the U.S., which is one of the richest nations to ever exist. There's absolutely no reason that should happen. It's completely unacceptable, and it's a failure of policy. But that's not a good metric for how well the U.S. is doing as a whole.
Medium households is a better metric, dude?
Median disposable income is a better metric, I would say, probably.
Why?
Yes.
Why? This is
because let's
have market brain, dude. Go ahead, please.
Okay, you understand? Even if let's say the U.S. had 2 people living in third world poverty, but the entire rest of the population was millionaires, your metric would say, "Oh, the U.S. is still doing horrible because we have third world poverty," even though it's only 2 people in that third world poverty. My metric would say society as a whole is doing really fucking well because all these people have high amounts of disposable income.
They have high disposable income, whatever the fuck, right? But more people live in poverty. This is not black and white, dude.
It's not black and white.
40. Hold on. I think it was like 50% of the population cannot afford a $500 emergency.
No, that's a bullshit metric. You don't know what you're talking about.
Not a bullshit metric.
No, it is a bullshit metric. No, I know the specific claim. You're citing a policy or a survey, by the Fed. That survey asked people, how would you choose to pay a $400 emergency expense? 40% of people, I think, chose not to pay with cash. What medical debt? Hold on. I know.
Say what you said.
I know the specific thing you're talking about because I've written about it before. Okay. You're citing a survey that the Fed did asking people how they would choose to cover a $400 emergency expense. I think 40% of those people said they wouldn't be able to cover it with cash. Now, not all of the other options were necessarily even indicative of financial hardship. Okay. Some of them, like paying with a credit card, don't necessarily indicate financial hardship. Some of them, like one of the options was they would have to sell something.
No, yes, it does. Wait, no, stop. Credit card debt is one of the most why people go into bankruptcy, dude.
Choosing to pay a $400 emergency expense does not necessarily indicate you're in a totally financially dire situation. You might just want to. Come
on, brother. Come on.
No,
this is
absolutely
bullshit.
not.
Are you fucking serious, dude?
I am fucking serious.
Like a motherfucker, dude.
I'm not sure. I know you. The fact is, I know what specific point of data you're talking about, and you don't even know what specific point of data you're talking about.
I know what you're talking. Okay, please finish up. Say it.
Hold on, let me check my notes in this guy. Let me pull out my notes, okay? Because I've written about it before. I know the very specific claim.
Say it light and proud, dude, because I'm out of beer. I'm gonna go get another beer.
Okay.
Go ahead. The floor is yours.
The claim comes from a Federal Reserve survey that asked Americans if they would choose to cover a $400 emergency expense with cash. 63% of Americans say they would pay it for cash equivalent, and that number has been trending upwards for years. Again, is he back? He left, right? So he's not here? God damn it. I need to ask him a question. But chat, the median household income, or the median American household has $8,000 in transaction accounts. So the median American can absolutely afford this expense. At least 50% of people can afford this expense. It's a bullshit claim. And then also the median American has, 54% of Americans have 3 months of income saved. So they can absolutely afford a $400 emergency expense. At least 54% of people. Yeah, it's a bullshit it's a bullshit claim that people like to spread lies about. And again, that number has been trending downward for years. So we're heading in the right direction. Like, goddamn, our median disposable income. 62. Wait.
Let's go with what you just said. Wait, go ahead.
Did you hear what I said, or did you?
I heard a little bit. You cut off, but I heard you said people have savings that could be propped up in the
median American has $8,000 in transaction accounts.
So why would somebody have an emergency, right? Why would somebody have an emergency here in America, dude?
Dude, I don't know. They fucking broke their leg and they need an ambulance.
Okay, so medical debt, right?
Yeah, medical debt's a huge problem in the U.S. We should nationalize our healthcare. I agree.
It's great. But it happens, right? It's a thing, right?
Of course, it's a thing that happens. But your claim was that 50% of America. Your claim was that 50% of Americans couldn't afford a $400 emergency expense. That's just not true.
That's okay, brother. But the reason they put it at 400 is because it could be 400, 500, 600, 700. It doesn't matter, dude. When you needed an emergency, especially because of it would be Medicare, honestly, it would be access to health, whatever the fuck it is. That's what people go into fucking medical debt. The average of the people that have $400, their life crumbles, dude.
I mean, again, medical debt is a problem, and I think we should have universal healthcare.
This is your opinion. This is not reality.
What? My opinion is that medical debt is a problem?
Okay, you said that people can afford around $8,000 fucking medical debt.
I said that's not at all what I said. What I said was that the median American has $8,000 in transaction accounts, which indicates that they probably could afford a $400 emergency expense.
Okay, but this is like extreme cherry picking, brother. That's not what the Fed was, honestly, that's not what the Fed was trying to say. They were trying to say that on average, most Americans cannot afford a $400 fucking emergency, dude.
That's not what that thing finds.
Dude, okay, fuck. See, I don't have the fucking studies with me, man. We're gonna have to fucking do it together.
You're citing a thing that you don't even know.
That's fine. That's fine. Here. America has 60,000 people die every year because they can't afford healthcare. America, the number one reason why people go into debt is because of Medicare, is because of medical debt. Credit card. You brought up credit card, right? Like people, what did you say about credit cards again?
I said choosing to pay a $400 emergency expense with a credit card doesn't necessarily suggest that you're in a totally financially dire situation. It might just mean that right now, if you had a $400 emergency expense, you need to wait until your next payday to get that.
You know I wanted to get Skade in here because Skade is horrifically anti-America, dude.
Okay.
So here's another statistic. A 2023 survey conducted at payroll.org highlighted that
payroll survey is a bullshit survey. Oh my god.
See, everything that you fucking hate is bullshit, dude.
Because you're citing a scam website, dude. Payroll.org also has surveys about the best fucking pizza in New York City. Okay, I'm gonna trust the large government and academic surveys, and you're gonna trust bullshit surveys as the first result when you look up on Google.
Wait, you didn't trust the Fed then?
What do you mean I didn't trust the Fed? I do trust the Fed. You didn't even know what you were talking about when you cited that number.
You
again,
said, what the fuck?
Oh my god. That's
okay, dude, go ahead.
Again, your claim was that 50% of Americans couldn't afford a $400 emergency expense. I told you that's not true. That's not what that survey finds. Okay, continue.
But you're being a fucking debate, bro, dude.
I'm not being a debate, bro. You made a specific claim and I proved it wrong.
It's so fucking stupid. Okay. It doesn't necessarily have to be $400, dude. To everybody in the chat, if it's $400, the point is that the majority not the majority, like around, what was it, like 40 to 50%? 40 to 50% of Americans cannot afford a 300, 400, 500, 600, 1,000, 2,000 emergency, which is common in America, dude. When do you have an emergency in America? Then you have to point at where people, I would point at where people go bankrupt. It will be medical debt, brother. It will be bankruptcy, like anything that is, when it comes to bankruptcy debt, right? You took something happened to you, it's an emergency. Something happened to you, you have to take drastic measures, you go into bankruptcy. Right? That's the point of the fucking study, brother.
I don't think medical debt should exist.
$400. That's a horrifically specific number, dude. Who the fuck would put that? Like, who the fuck would put the I'm 399? I cited what the fuck?
2 different statistics at you. 1, that the median American has $8,000 in transaction accounts. 2, that the average American has 50. I think it's median. The median American has $54,000. So sorry, 54% of Americans have 3 months of savings, 3 months of expenses saved. Both of those things indicate that the majority of Americans are doing decently well.
All of this again, dude. So say who will you compare this to, dude? Can we compare this to somebody?
What do you mean compare it to somebody?
Well, how will you compare? Like, we have to compare America to somebody to determine that America is a dog shit country, right? Who will you compare this to?
If you compare us to countries in Western Europe, like Norway or the Scandinavian countries, we're probably a dog shit country, right? Okay?
Horrific.
If you compare us to any other like third world country, then we're probably,
of course, yeah. That's why
probably a lot better.
Something with like gun violence, right? Same thing with gun violence. Like a lot of fucking right wing grifters compare American gun violence to third world countries and say, look, right? Look,
okay, what do you? Wait. Okay, let's compare us to China. Okay, what do you think the median disposable income in America is?
First world country, brother.
Okay,
China's not a first. China's a developing fucking country.
Okay, we were talking about China, but sure, yeah.
Oh, okay, dude. So you're gonna compare a relatively new developing country to a first world country that has been established for hundreds of years. That's gonna be fair, dude. That's fair to you?
I just remember us talking earlier about where we think the disposable income is higher, either the U.S. or China.
I'm not, dude. Why would I? I wasn't comparing. I was okay. If you give China 250 years of development, do you think they're going to be in the where America is now, brother?
I don't know. It depends exactly what course China takes. I think if they start implementing more free market policies, they probably will eventually get there.
I don't know what to say to that. I honestly don't know what to say to that. Look, my chat is like making fun of me, dude.
Okay.
Are you in my chat? Yeah, they're like literally. Okay, can we switch to something else?
Yeah, listen, sure, we can switch to something else, man.
You are a Keynesian. Yep. I'll review the debate tomorrow. We'll go over. That's what I do usually. When this is a good debate, by the way.
Sure.
Nikki, thank you for bringing this person on. It's okay. We're gonna move on to another issue. What do you think about Biden and Trump? You're gonna vote for one of these motherfuckers?
I am gonna vote for Joe Biden. I love Joe Brandon. Oh my god, I love him so much. Yes.
Good. Why? Well, let's go with why. I'm gonna vote for Joe Biden too. By the way.
One is just because the alternative is a literal fucking guy who tried to coup. He did an attempted coup. He incited an insurrection. He has 91 felony indictments. He's fucking insane. And I think Biden's done mostly good stuff. I think the infrastructure bill was really important. I think that was pretty good. I think he did pretty well with the COVID stimulus. I think that was pretty good. I think the Chips and Science Act is pretty good. I think the Safer Communities Act is pretty good. I think he's done a relatively good job at
a lot of the bills that you're bringing up are very corporate, in my opinion, but are they better than anything else in the past? They are, 100%. The only reason I'm voting for Biden is the NLRB, Lena Khan, which is breaking up. Lena Khan, which is doing what the fuck the FTC is supposed to do. and the labor secretary. But it's still the lesser of two evils, so we agree here. They're bringing up genocide. So what do you have to say, dude, when it comes to genocide? They think that Donald Trump is going to be different, dude.
I do think
Like
I
in
think
Gaza.
Donald Trump would be significantly different. I think if we look at the comments
It'll be
Donald Trump
worse.
made, yeah, I think Donald Trump would obviously be worse, okay? I think Biden is the main reason why Netanyahu delayed the ground invasion in Gaza. I think Biden is the main reason that Israel didn't do a greater retaliatory strike in Iran. I think Biden is the main reason Israel hasn't invaded Rafah yet.
That is a
I think
big one.
Biden is the main reason that Netanyahu finally decided to open more ports for humanitarian aid. And I don't think Trump would have been airdropping food into Gaza. I think if you actually care about the Palestinian people, you will probably vote for Joe Biden.
I wouldn't necessarily put it that way, like as in care for the, because he still takes this is a reality, okay? You guys can look it up. Joe Biden has taken more money from AIPAC in the Senate when he was senator in history of any other senator. Literally, you guys can look it up. Of any other senator, he's taken $11 million. I still think he's a puppet, but regardless of that, Donald Trump is a way more puppet when it comes to Israel. And for the shit that you mentioned, 100%. This tiffle, whatever the fuck that happened within Iran and Israel, Donald Trump killed Soleimani, brother. Let me dumb it down for everybody. Donald Trump killed Soleimani with an American airstrike. It wasn't an Israeli airstrike. It wasn't a proxy. It was an American Reaper that killed Soleimani. You don't think with this shit that just happened with Iran, Donald Trump would have been bombing the shit with the American military, bombing the shit out of Iran? You're insane. To everybody that doesn't, please go look at how horrifically worse he was than his predecessor, another Democrat, Barack Obama. Donald Trump is worse, dude. This is where I disagree with my audience. I agree with you, brother. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Joe Biden's done a
1000%.
pretty good job at foreign policy for the most part. I don't think much
I think he definitely did lower air
Do you think this
strikes,
guy's
right?
anti-Ukraine?
Drone strikes, 100%. He got us out of Afghanistan, 1000%. I think in Latin America, he's much more hands off than fucking somebody like Donald Trump, which is a good thing. And for my side, what is there? So okay, well, how about Ukraine, dude? What do you think about Ukraine? I want to disagree so that my chat doesn't get mad at me.
I have a.
What about Ukraine? What do you think about Ukraine? Man?
Okay, I am pro giving Ukraine a lot of free money. I love giving Ukraine free money.
Why, dude?
Because I think the entirety of our entire system of world security right now basically lies on protecting nations' rights to territorial integrity. And I think showing Russia and the rest of the world that if your bigger neighbor invades you and they have nuclear weapons, the world is not going to do shit and they're just going to let you, get invaded and fucking die. I think that shows the world two things. One, that the only way they can possibly maintain their security is by securing nuclear weapons. And two, a lot of the bigger states are going to say, oh, hey, if we invade our smaller neighbors, no one is going to do shit. No one's going to care. Territorial integrity is dead. And there's going to be a lot more violence on the world stage.
Yes, but who do you think perpetrated this war, brother, in Ukraine?
Russia.
You don't think there was something wrong with the Maidan fucking uprising?
No, I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with it.
President, like, what was his name? I forget this fucker's name.
Yanukovych. I mean, Yanukovych fled, right? I mean, the people protested and he fled the country.
Hold on, let me get his name. I always forget this fucker's name.
It was Yanukovych. It was
his name.
Yankovic.
The 2014 guy, the 2014, the guy that was democratically elected, and he was ousted.
Yankovic, and then he fled. But it was only after because he.
Yanukovych. You don't think that Yanukovych? There was something wrong with Yanukovych winning a democratic election and then ousted.
Well, he wasn't necessarily. He fled. He fled like a little fucking baby boy because people are protesting.
I cannot hear you. Wait, hold on. I think either you're muted or I'm muted.
I don't think I'm muted. I think I'm good.
Wait. Yeah, I definitely can't hear you, brother. Hold on.
I'm not muted, right? I can still see my mic perfectly fine. Yeah.
Give me a moment. Don't repeat everything you said, brother.
I mean, Yanukovych fled, and it's only after he rejected a deal that the Ukrainian parliament had already overwhelmingly approved in exchange for a deal with Russia, which would have not allowed Ukraine to join the EU.
Yeah, but that's,
and it seems like they had their
wait, no. Is that if that's your standard to overthrow a democratically elected government, then Donald Trump was saying that he was going to give everybody health care, and then he went back on it because he didn't deliver. Does that give us justification to overthrow Donald Trump as a president? That's not a good justification, brother.
I don't think just because the people overthrew a government there necessarily means Russia should invade. First of all,
that's true. That is true what you're saying.
Number 2, Yanukovych fled. Like, he left the country.
No, he fled because hold on. Well, let me give you context. He fled because his security was taken away by the parliament. His security was taken away with the parliament, and he was like literally a sitting duck. Anybody with half a brain would say, "I will be killed now. I am going to leave." And he didn't go to Russia. I'm not disagreeing with you that he wasn't a Russian puppet. He was definitely a Russian puppet. But regardless, he won a democratic election, brother.
Yeah, and he fled after he rejected a deal. And it was after, by the way, Russia violated a Budapest memorandum by fucking using economic coercion on Ukraine to try to get them to stop joining the EU.
None of this matters. Wait, none of this matters.
Hey, well, you know what? I agree with you.
Wait. If you look at Yanukovych's actual, if you look into it, it was because he was trying to stave off the horrific IMF loan that was trying to come in, which he rejected because it was going to push horrific austerity measures in the country, which as soon as he was ousted, it was implemented, dude. But that's beside the point. He was still democratically elected, and he was ousted from I would say it wasn't the majority of the country. It was a coup, right?
I think it was a coup. I think it was a revolution, right?
It was no. A revolution can mean many things. I would consider a revolution the majority of the country wanting, whatever his fucking name is, to be ousted. I would consider that. It's a line where we draw it, right? This was definitely the minority of the country trying to oust this motherfucker out of power, dude, because the majority of Ukraine, the heavy vote came from Donetsk, Luhansk, and Crimea, which puts this guy over the top to win a democratically elected election, dude.
I don't think a revolution has to be the majority of the country.
Okay, so now you're advocating for minority rule?
I mean, I'm not necessarily advocating for minority rule, but I'm just saying, I don't think a revolution intrinsically implies the majority of the country. I don't think that's true. When people say coup in this context,
there's a difference between a coup and a revolution, right? We could talk about the Bolsheviks, the Mensheviks, and all that. We have to draw the line somewhere, dude. In my opinion, it was a coup because the minority of the country. I don't have to go into CIA and covert operations. We don't have to go into none of that. This motherfucker won a democratic election. He should not have been ousted out of power. I don't care if he broke a promise. Politicians break promises all the fucking time, dude. That happens here in America. That happens all over the world. Should he have been ousted out of power? That is not a justification for ousting a democratic president winning a democratic election.
But he didn't just go back on a promise. He, first of all, the EU deal had huge support among the people. Okay, even if this guy was democratically elected or whatever, the vast majority of people supported an EU deal.
All of this is relevant, brother. All of this is irrelevant.
Okay, but
what? Okay, but you don't get to. It's fine. He went back on a promise.
But again, he didn't just go back on a promise. Hold on. He rejected a deal his parliament had already approved.
My friend.
He caved to Russian economic coercion.
Who cares? Who cares, dude? That's listen.
This
happens in American politics. American politics, you get some presidents who. I'll give you an example. The majority of the Republicans wanted to destroy Obamacare, dude. And Donald Trump, when it comes to American democratic means, was elected, and they were striving to end Obamacare. And then you had one senator in Arizona, fucking McCain, shut it down. Should McCain be ousted as a fucking senator that was elected? You're advocating for a coup, my friend.
I'm not necessarily advocating for a coup. Again, I would say it's more along the lines of a revolution. But listen, I'll agree with you. Okay, I'll agree with you a little bit. Okay, I don't think any of this actually does matter. I think even if I accepted, which I don't, that this was an evil U.S. coup in 2014, I don't think it matters right now. I think all that matters right now is the security of Ukraine and the security of the world. And I think both of those are upheld if we give money to Ukraine. We'll give weapons to Ukraine. We're not giving them much money.
Okay. We're gonna skip all that bullshit because I for the sake of argument. I don't. It's clear that and it was very clear that this war. This is why I disagree with my own audience. Right? These motherfuckers think that Russia is going to be able to take all of Ukraine, and Ukrainians think that they're going to be able to take all of their lost land. Ukraine had very good funding in the beginning of the war. They were able to stave off because of warfare has changed, right? Tanks are useless, blah, 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 blah. We don't have to get into it. But this is like me. This is like my personal beliefs. The more funding you give to Ukraine, the longer the war is going to go on. And the war has become a war of attrition. So Ukraine is running out of men. It's running out of ammunition. It's running out of. I had a debate with Dylan Burns, by the way. If you guys want to check it out, it's running out of what do you call it? Artillery shells. These are things that are. I don't care how much funding you give to Ukraine. It is not going to give them. It's not going to give them an edge, dude. It might stave it off the war just a little bit, but the global manufacturing hub against the two nations, Ukraine and Russia, Russia's going to win this war of attrition, brother. It's only a matter of time. Wouldn't it be better for Ukraine to advocate for peace?
I don't know. Even if I don't necessarily think so. I think the war really only gets like better for Ukraine, and it looks like it gets worse for Russia. Like Ukraine's about to get new weapon systems. They're about to get their air defense stuff. They're about to get F-16s, and Russia is begging North Korea for weapons.
What do you mean about air defense?
We just approved didn't we just approve aid to them that gives them air defense systems?
Ukraine has the best air defense system that America can provide, aside from the Iron Dome. It will be the Patriot system. They have Patriot system, brother, and Russia has been hitting with their ballistic, with the Ice Clander, with their fucking Shahid drones, have been hitting Ukrainian fucking whatever troops or sites all over Ukraine. Not even they just hit. I think they hit Odessa a couple of days ago, dude. No, brother.
My understanding is that Ukraine.
I'm actually being a centrist on this. I'm being a centrist on this. I want the war to end. Do you think that Ukraine will be? Let me ask you, make it simple for everybody. Do you think that Ukraine is going to take back Luhansk, Donetsk, and Crimea back?
Some of them probably. I think it depends how long the war goes on. Again, because I think the war does get better for Ukraine as long as it keeps receiving Western aid, and I don't think the war really gets any better for Russia. At least in the next, 2 or 3 years or whatever. I don't think it necessarily gets.
Brother, Russia is out manufacturing Ukraine. There's articles on this. Logistic wise, Russia is getting more troops, more weapons, more bullets, everything to the front line way faster than Ukraine. This aid bill to me is dog shit.
Well, part of that was because we weren't.
I'm telling you guys the truth. This aid bill is completely dog shit because it's going to take months to get to the front line.
Wait, that's not true at all. That's not true at all. If you actually read any of the, because the U.S. already has the aid stationed on the border of Ukraine. It's already in Germany and Poland, in NATO countries. It's going to take days. As soon as the funding is approved, it's going to take days.
Brother, my friend, you have Russians here and people that have been studying this since the beginning of the war. Skate, Honda Man, Turbo.
That's
Russia,
fine.
all Russia has to do, all Russia does to fuck up logistics when it comes to. I'm sorry, but it's like a map difference, right? It's like a map difference. If you're a gamer, dude, it's like a map difference, dude. If we're closer to Baron,
Does guy not understand? I just said the aid was already in Europe. It was already bordering Ukraine.
Right? It's a map difference. Russia with the Iskander missiles have been hitting railroad ways to disrupt the Ukrainian since the beginning of the war. It's one of the big problems of Ukraine, brother. You watch the counteroffensive fail, and then now you're starting to watch the Russian push towards the Donbass, at least starting to cripple the Ukrainian lines, brother. This is why the Ukrainian logistics will always be worse than the Russian logistics, dude.
I already told you the aid is already on the borders of Ukraine. It's already in NATO countries, ready to be shipped to Ukraine. As soon as the bill is approved, it'll get to Ukrainian aids. But you told me it was a map difference, okay? The reality, the map is not what you think it is, because the aid to Ukraine is already on the border of Ukraine. It's ready to be shipped there in a matter of days. It can get to the front line in days. It's not going to take months.
Skate, is this true? I'm gonna read Skate. Skate is a professional at this shit. Skate, is this true? What happens to get from all the way from Liev all the way to the Donbass, dude? How long does it take? Does it take days, Skate? Does it take days, Skate? Skate, does it take days? Whatever weapon they send to Ukraine is going to be depleted in days. It is. That's also true, man. He didn't answer the question, but he's also right about that.
He's going to be depleted.
The problem is that it is.
Okay.
Liv's still coping so hard. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we found another standstill. So can we move on to something else?
I mean, like literally every article I read about the Ukraine bill said that they could get the weapons to Ukraine within days because it's already stationed in NATO
Western
countries.
Media, brother. That's
all
what they
the
said
Western
in the
media is
beginning.
just lying. Okay.
I mean, they said that in the counteroffensive, they said that the Russian lines were crumbling. Did it look like they fucking crumpled, dude? They stomped the Ukrainian counteroffensive relatively easily, dude. By the way,
okay.
Can I give you a link so you can watch my debate with Dylan Burns? Because I had a debate with this motherfucker 5 months ago. Yeah, I'll send it into your later. Where I basically told him, this is going to fail. He was going around saying, no, they're everything that you're saying. They're getting better ammunition. They're better. I think it's blah blah blah. And I told him, no. They already set up 5 defensive walls. You're gonna run into a wall. And then it happened, and he banned me from his stream, dude. He literally banned me from his stream. What do you mean banned, dude? Wow, great. Okay, let's move on. I don't like standstills, and I don't like to touch it. Let's talk about. We already agree on Biden, Russia. What's another big one, dude? Well, I already know. What's your take on abortion?
I'm like pro-choice up to about 22 weeks, I would say.
Agreed. I'm actually pro-choice until the baby leaves the woman's vagina, but I am a pragmatist and an incrementalist, so I would take 22 weeks. Okay, well, let's go with this. Why do you think that at 22 weeks? Because the baby's viable and the woman could
not viable.
Shoot the baby and...
At 22 weeks, it seems like we start detecting brain function in the higher cortexes, which is arguably what creates like our conscious experience. That's when I just don't give moral consideration to anything that isn't a conscious being. And it seems like...
Is that 100% though?
What do you mean 100%?
Is that 100% that we gain consciousness just because you see brain activity? Because I've seen people debate that actually. I've seen people say that because you know what they bring up, the right wingers bring up, what about you start seeing heartbeats, right? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks into the fucking
I hate to break it to you, heartbeats don't give us consciousness. No.
No, well, that's what I mean.
Take out someone's heart, they're still conscious.
But their argument. No, I'm not. You're not breaking it to me. I don't give a fuck. But you're breaking it to them. They say that because you're detecting what is it
like life, heartbeat,
human
human life.
it like human life. That's why you should take into effect. So they determine consciousness to be moral. They determine human life to be moral. This is like you see how we cannot as a humanity set a line somewhere, dude.
I kind of like, this is the problem is I somewhat agree with you that this is kind of like an axiomatic thing. It's like, well, I just think the only thing that we can reasonably value when it comes to morality is the well-being of conscious creatures. I don't think it makes sense to value anything else. Like, I don't think it makes sense to value human life, because not all human life can suffer. Not all human life should be applicable to morality. Like, you know, obviously, like we should be able to pull our grandpas off life support.
You shouldn't even. See, if I was a right winger, I would actually. I'm not a right winger. I don't give a fuck, right? But let me give you the right wing argument.
Sure.
So you agree that human life is created as soon as I nut in a woman's vagina.
Well, as soon as the sperm actually meets the egg, yeah.
You think that's a human life? You just don't care about it. You don't think
this is gonna sound
bad, by the way?
Oh, I mean, of course it sounds bad. It shouldn't sound bad to like anyone with any actual like understanding of morals. What I would like ask these people is like, how do you separate a moral object from a moral subject, and then like see if they have a good answer to that. And if they said human life, I'd say like, okay, so if your grandpa gets in a car crash and his brain don't work anymore, he's brain dead, but the rest of him is still alive. Do you think it's immoral to unplug him? Yeah.
See, this is why right-wingers would disagree with you, right? They will think, well, he's still in there somehow. There's a chance that he can live. It's immoral for you to unplug him, but fuck him. But I personally have to disagree with you. Why do we think that a potential life is a life, brother? Isn't that a moral construct of ours?
What do you mean?
Like, where do we deter? I understand that two different DNAs meet with each other, but why, as a society, do we determine that to be a life? That's kind of like your opinion, right?
I mean, it's not. That's just what we have defined life as. It's just like biologically what we defined life as.
Wait. Okay. So hold on. Well, do you agree? Do you agree that a trans woman is a woman?
I mean, yeah.
So why is that any different than what you're talking about, dude?
Because we're talking about different facts that matter. When we talk about trans people, the fact that matter that we're talking about is like what their gender identity is, right? It's like, you know, does their brain align with their body, stuff like that. When we talk about life, the fact of the matter that we're talking about is like, is this thing alive? Does it have DNA? Does it maintain, I forget what the term is, maintain homeostasis or whatever? Yeah.
I mean, again, all of this to me is just the way we see it as a society. Why do we draw that line there? Is my fucking problem, dude. See what I mean? Because the right wingers. So let me give you the right wing argument, right? So right wingers, when it comes to trans women, say no. If you have a dick, you're not a woman, which is bullshit. I agree. It's fucking bullshit. It's bullshit, right? That's where we determine the line in the past, but we don't have to do that. Why the fuck do we determine psychosis or whatever the fuck you called it in the beginning of life, dude? You actually have a good argument when it comes to consciousness, right? Because consciousness, and by the way, I don't actually want to grant you that because we don't know when consciousness actually starts, what we can determine as consciousness, or when somebody can feel pain, right? Because it's one of the reasons why to the vegans, are you a vegan?
I'm vegetarian.
Good. You know what I'm talking about. So one of the reasons why I do advocate for vegetarianism and veganism is that I say, okay, well, if you want us to get to that level, let's change the system systematically and head towards in that direction, because I get you. These animals are already born. They have consciousness. They're grown. They can feel pain. It's immoral to fucking kill them, right? But I advocate for the systemic change of veganism. If I try to change that as an individual, that's gonna fall to flat ears, man. It's useless, right? That's my argument. But when it comes to these babies, where the fuck is it written where consciousness starts, or where they can feel pain. That's where I draw my line of immorality, dude. That's where, like, okay, if they can feel pain, then you can't get rid of them, dude. Right? See what I mean?
Kind of, but like pain is a perceived thing. So it's kind of weird in that, like, in order to actually experience pain, there has to be like an experiencer, right? But it seems like fetuses develop like the nerve structures to quote unquote feel pain relatively early on. But there's no actual experience to feel it. Cause like you can have nerves and shit, and you can poke a nerve and it can send a signal to a brain. But as long as that brain isn't actually forming an experience yet, it doesn't look like
true.
There's nothing like suffering.
So the brain starts to develop in 22 weeks, like you said?
The number I've seen is at 22 weeks, you start to see activity in the higher cortexes.
It still doesn't answer my question, but I would, again, I'm a pragmatist, dude. I love Roe v. Wade, right? And I love KCV something, right? It was in the 90s. KCV something. It allowed states second semester to, most of the abortions were in the second semester. Republicans are insane. Please don't vote Republican. You're fucking crazy. Brother man, I have to go.
All right.
I have to go pick up somebody. But this was a great conversation. And thank you, Nikki. Yep. Yeah, no. Actually, it was, dude. You are actually very smart.
I enjoyed it. I wasn't. Sorry if I sounded sarcastic. I liked it. Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk more.
No, me too, man. This is the kind of conversation I like, brother. I don't like talking to the fucking news that like, well, Donald Trump is the greatest, but you are very good, brother. Very good. You're always welcome here. Give me a follow, political person guy. And shout out if you're in my chat, send your link. Like, and people can follow you and everything, dude.
Yeah, some people thank you. Already followed me, which thank you, by the way. I'm on Nonfon 420. I stream every day from 7 p.m. EST to about 2 a.m. EST. Went a little bit late today because we're talking to this guy, but it was worth it.
Oh, it was worth it. All right. Have a good night, brother.
Have a good night, brother. Talk to you soon. All right. All right, chat. That's pretty cool. Thank you, since Science Politically. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Oh, holy shit. He just hosted me? What? Did he raid me? Or did he... Hold on, it didn't pop up, but it popped up. Oh, he gave me a shout out. Okay. I thought he rated me at first, and I thought my alerts didn't work to give me a shout out. Okay. Thank you, political person. I don't know if he's here or whatever. I think he's still talking to that guy. Talking there. But, that was cool. This guy's chill. Okay. Suitable Munar replacement. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Genetic Bomb. Yep, still here. Thanks. I said, wait, does he have 3 accounts? He was PPG Ultimate, and he's also Science Politically, and he's also a political person. Go. I don't understand. I never use alt accounts. Okay. Sorry for the caps. You're good, man. I appreciate the caps, okay? Shows excitement. It's awesome. Okay. I need to do... So for the new people here, I don't know how many new people here. Listen. My streams, to some people, are going to be a little bit more boring than his streams. Because, for example, what we'll do, like here are my notes on tax policy, okay? So we have all these articles that we read. I haven't read that one yet, it's a bad example. All these articles that we read, and we've gone through and taken notes of them, okay? Yeah. So I need to do stuff like this, but for like state-owned enterprises. Because one thing I've seen, but I haven't read into it yet, like the same way I read it in tax policy, is that state-owned enterprises tend to, you know, be a little bit worse performing than private enterprises. But there are types of market failures. For example, the big one in this case is going to be natural monopolies, because natural monopolies actually are arguably better to have to be run by the state, or at least like endorsed by the state, like the way power companies work. Because like right now, Duke Energy is a Power is a private company technically, but I think like in the state I live in, and I think it operates in South Carolina too, it's given monopoly status by the government. Yeah, Duke Energy, I guess monopoly status. Duke Energy has a near monopoly. Oh, it says near monopoly. I think it the North Carolina Utilities Commission. But you see how like Duke Energy can't just do rate increases. They have to actually go through like the North Carolina state government if they want to increase the price of electricity. Stuff like natural monopolies, it's good to regulate like this because there's a market failure. One of my favorite books, okay? What Money Can't Buy. This is a good book for, so I would say there are kind of like, okay, there are two cases against markets broadly. So there are market failures. Market failures are just a case where the market fails, okay? So your big ones are going to be common resources, natural monopolies, negative externalities, and then, I mean, there's a ton of them. I don't know. Credence goods are example of ones. So like education and healthcare tend to be market failures because they're credence goods. So this would be one example of cases where markets don't always work, okay? Negative externalities, natural monopolies, like actual monopolies. Yeah, and common resources and credence goods, okay? The second one is some type of moral argument. This is a book that does a really good job. I might read some of it on stream one day of going over the moral arguments against markets, okay? It's called What Money Can't Buy, The Moral Limit of Markets. This is a really good book. My economics teacher told me to read it. Which reminds me I should text him again. But yeah. So it goes over like, I think like one of the cases is like, should we allow trophy hunting, for example, where like you pay to kill an animal. You get to kill that animal and the money from killing that animal goes to like rescuing other animals. Is that an example of a moral market or or like, let's say a market to sell organs? Could there be concerns here? And it goes over the really good moral arguments against markets. So broadly speaking, there are like two arguments, okay? Fairness and corruption. So let's use like selling blood for an example. Should blood be something you're able to sell? The fairness argument would say, hey, I think it's really fucked up. I don't think it's fair that we're putting people in a situation where poor homeless people are being forced to sell their blood. Well, rich people are never going to have to do that. I don't think that's fair. That'd be an example of the fairness objection. And then the corruption objection would be something like, I just don't think blood should be something for sale. Like I think it's in some way immoral for blood to be an object, a commodity set up for sale. And you could do the same thing with like baby adoption for some reason. You know, the point of being a parent is you love your child, right? And you know, selling babies kind of undermines that, right? Yeah. So that'd be an example of like a corruption objection. And the book does a really good job of going over those, and it has a bunch of different examples, and they're like interesting examples too, because the book doesn't necessarily like lean one way or another. Like it doesn't tell you like I think this is immoral because of this. Like it does a good job of just like explaining the arguments for and against it, and then like letting you decide. And they're interesting examples. Well, maybe we should go through them one day. I should actually make a page on my thing. Money can't buy. It's a really good book. Yeah, but that $400 is crazy. So he cited that he didn't even know what he was talking about. He didn't know how medians worked either. I'm sorry. It was a good conversation, okay? And I know he's drunk, which whatever. But, yeah. Want to see the new people here? I don't know how many new people are here, but like one of the things we're reading right now. I think it was in this. I have it under tax policy. It's probably goes better under tax. Bro, give me a shout out and they'd actually raid me. What the freak? What the freak? What the freak, guys? So like some of what we read today. For most of today I was just playing Fallout 76, to be honest. That was most of today. But we did a little bit of politics again. what we just started reading before he called me, or before he hopped in the call, is this. I don't know how if the new people here know what crowding out is. But we're reading, does social housing, I can't fucking speak, sorry. New people, I have a speech impediment, okay? I worked very hard to fix my speech impediment, okay? It's still around though, still around, okay? But it's a lot better than it was a long time ago. Listen, I got pulled out of my class, like in kindergarten, for like every day to try to fix this fucking speech impediment, okay? Okay. Yeah, but what we were reading is this study. Does social housing crowd out private construction? I'm not going to do a good job explaining what crowding out is, but basically, crowding out, the simplest way to put it, is it's a decrease in private spending because of an increase in public spending. So resources that otherwise would have gone to building like private houses went to social housing. And if we choose to build social housing, does that stop private housing from being built? And in turn, may even reduce the total housing stock. So it may be the case, for example, that building one social dwelling actually only crowds out one or less than one private house, which in that case, it may still be good because people need homes, and it would be a good source of affordable housing. But it could also be the case that building social housing actually crowds out more than one home, in which case you'd actually end up reducing housing supply, which actually wouldn't increase housing affordability, because at the end of the day, housing's a supply and demand thing. Yeah. This has a really good explanation of crowding out, because yeah.
Or
Hold on. Okay.
crowding out is a term used to describe a situation when expansionary fiscal policies decrease or crowd out private spending. Imagine an economy that's operating at full employment. Workers have jobs and factories are operating near capacity. If the federal government tries to increase spending to, say, build a new road, then it necessarily has to take away some people and some capital from other sectors of the economy. GDP wouldn't increase because there's already full employment. So, government spending would simply be crowding out private spending and investment and would not, in the short run, stimulate the economy. So when the government borrows to cover that additional spending, it affects the entire market for saving and borrowing. Let's look at how the government affects the supply.
Okay. Don't need to worry about that.
and
Actually,
demand for loanable funds.
fuck. You guys aren't going to know what loanable funds are, but
We'll use some numbers
because the
here.
government shifts the supply left to loanable funds, which increases the interest rate.
The demand 7% to 9%.
Or sorry, it's a demand increase. Sorry, I'm dumb. Fuck,
Higher
whatever.
interest
Fuck you.
rate means
I'm right
that the
all the time.
quantity of savings supplied will increase, in this case, from $200 to $250 billion. Now, remember that if savings increases by $50 billion, that means that private consumption is falling by $50 billion. If we're saving more, we're consuming less. And because borrowing has become more expensive due to that higher interest rate, private investment will also fall. At a 9% interest rate, we can see that the private demand for loanable funds is $150 billion, $50 billion less than it was at an interest rate of 7%. We call these two effects crowding out. So when the government borrows $100 billion, it crowds out private investment and private consumption.
Yeah. Although, listen, okay, I'm an economics guy, so new viewers here. I think he's still left. I think they all left because my economic answer is too technical and too based. Okay. Part of the reason a crowding out effect exists here is because the social dwellings were less dense than private dwellings. Okay, so in theory, although a policy of the government building houses for people may not actually increase housing stock because it crowds out social or private construction, something like giving subsidies to private developments to build like more apartment buildings, for example, may actually still increase the housing stock. So it's not at all. This isn't at all like, oh, it's something to say like we should never do social housing because or the government should never involve itself in housing because it crowds out private spending. It's just like this specific way of doing social housing may actually end up hurting housing stock more than helping it. But something like, for example, Justin Trudeau just did in Canada. Justin Trudeau housing investment. For example, he just announced investment
Mr. Justin Trudeau
in a in like advanced housing construction. Hold on.
Nurses repair.
This isn't a video I want. But he invested money in, I think, like a company that actually like builds modular homes, that like started doing like advanced. I don't know how to tell modular. Maybe this will have some of it. But you see, like, yeah, this is a like he's in a factory right now that like actually mass produces homes. Pretty cool. Oh, here it is.
If I asked you how they build a house, what would you say? You'd probably point out they start by digging a big hole and filling it with bricks and mortar. You'd probably point out that it takes a long time. What if there was a more innovative way of getting housing built? I'm here at a modular housing factory where they're building the homes we need in a matter of months. Doing it with 3D printing and automation, also by using standardized blueprints that other builders can use too. They're literally mass producing the housing we need. That's the kind of
I'm gonna
innovation.
pin my Discord message, my Discord link. Okay, anyone wants to join my Discord? There it is. You can come chat to me about something if you want to. Come debate me, because I'm a debate bro. And yeah, and you can get notified when I stream.
We
Also
need
like
to
that.
solve the housing crisis we're in. These are the investments we're making in technology to scale it up and make it happen.
Yeah, so something like that, for example, could be better. Okay. Yeah. I don't really know. I don't know what to do now. I don't know if I want to end stream, but I know. Because I want to read that paper. But it's already late. Damn. Someone subs right now, I won't end stream. Yeah, so that's for new people here. That's what we'll do in the future. We'll be first. I mean, I'll be doing debates too and stuff. And actually, if you join my Discord, I have it set up where I can ping people whenever I'm doing debates and not just boring research. Okay, so yeah, we'll be doing a lot of reading, a lot of research. I react to stuff too sometimes. Like I react to the news, funny stuff. Okay. I don't usually react to TRIT, but I could if people wanted it. It's not like I just read boring stuff. I do also watch news, Yeah. Well. Been a good stream. Hope everyone had fun. Love talking to that guy. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Yeah, you can check me out. I'm like Nonfon and everything. So you can go check that out on YouTube and Kick if you really want to use Kick for some reason. I started Kick too. Mainly on YouTube. Yeah, fuck. Oh fuck. Anyways, thanks everyone for watching. So far, I've liked your stream load. It's like the lurk. Well, no, you're good. I love my lurkers. Okay, my lurkers never cause problems. It's everybody else that causes the problems. Okay. Now, those problems also cause content, but lurkers never cause problems. Don't worry. What the fuck? What is there? My house, dude. Dude, I actually need to move my base. Dude, this guy, every single fucking time I go to my base, it's a scorched here. And he just sits here. He either sits here or he sits up on that, like, deck. And he just takes shots at my house. What the fuck, dude? Oh my god. Jesus fucking Christ. Look at this. I am a true trans ally, guys. This is how you know. I followed 76 base. Nice big trans flag. Alright, and now I sit in my gorilla chair, wearing my Shally the Moo outfit, my insane fucking mask. Hold on, let me go in third person, it's funnier. And now I rest till tomorrow, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. EST. Eastern Standard Time.